What is going on, everyone? And in this video I'll be giving you my UFC Vegas main event prediction for the upcoming event taking place this Saturday. This should be a solid main event. Obviously you have the Ultimate Fighter, but if you don't really pay attention to the Ultimate Fighter, you're really not going to really know what's going on with all that. But that being said, I do like the Kevin Lee fight on this card. I'm excited for this for that fight, just to see how he looks at welterweight, obviously coming off some injuries, and then obviously fighting a guy like Daniel Rodriguez, who weirdly enough has been winning his fights and staying in this, so we'll have to see how that looks. The rest of the card, obviously I have Sam Alvey returning, but I wouldn't really think the rest of it, maybe Jamal Emmers, some fights here and there, but I wouldn't, as far as like looking out for some fights, obviously I think the main event is probably going to be the one that everyone's looking forward to. And I do think fights like this where it's very close, they really don't come often. Usually someone is like really backed, they're like a minus 300 or something, or minus 200, and the other guy's like a plus 250 or something like that. It's not, you don't really get these two like minus 15 versus minus 105. So that'll be exciting to see, and it'll be exciting to see what we get in this main event. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the main event right from the jump, and then I'll show you guys the rest of the card. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the main event. So in the main event of the evening, we have Edson Barboza, minus 115, 22-9, taking on Giga Chikadze, coming in here with 13-2 at a minus 105. This fight is very interesting because Edson Barboza, his first fight was against Dan Ige in the featherweight division. And before that, he's fought pretty much everyone. Paul Felder, Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez, Beneil Dariush, Khabib, Habib, Kevin Lee, Dan Hooker, Justin Gate. He's fighting everyone, right, in the lightweight division. And he's been around. You look at his first UFC fight was all the way back November 20th of 2010, and he's fought Donald Cerrone. He's definitely fought a lot of these people, and he's one of those guys. He goes out there and he'll literally get stopped, or he'll finish someone, or he'll beat you up for 3 rounds and just kind of kick the hell out of you. Very dangerous when it comes to the kicks. Classic Muay Thai kind of stance. The one thing I don't like, though, and I think this could play into something for Giga, if Giga's the aggressive fighter, I'm a little bit worried that Edson Barboza, even looking at Shane Burgos, right? So if you look at that first fight, Shane Burgos, first round, he's getting a lot of the pressure in there, and it's kind of working, but Edson Barboza is hitting him with some good counters, obviously hitting him with the leg kicks, something that's very hard to deal with if you can't get out of the way or check them. But Edson Barboza is like, that's his thing, right? So he's trained that his entire life pretty much, or his entire fighting career, to have the best kicks, the switch kicks, the timing on the kicks. It looks flawless. It looks easy when he does it. But Shane Burgos is backing him up. He is putting the pressure on him. And I think that's something that, if you look at when he fought Justin Gaethje too, obviously Justin Gaethje was able to KO him, get in close, land some big shots on him. That's interesting, because I think if Chikadze goes in quickly on him and tries to be the aggressor and tries to blitz him, I could see Barboza kind of shelling up a little bit, trying to land some counters. But obviously, like, if he gets hurt, and I don't know if I would be too surprised, but I would be kind of surprised if Chikadze is able to get in there quickly and liver kick Barboza, and Barboza just falls on the floor. Like, that would be pretty shocking, because this is definitely, in my opinion, a step up in competition for Giga Chikadze. I think if he can just go in here and land a Giga kick on Barboza and take him out, like, within that first round, that's going to be really dangerous. He's going to be very dangerous if he goes here and makes this look easy. He's coming off that win against Cub Swanson with the Giga kick, obviously, and then against Jamie Simmons with a head kick. Dangerous, but again, Omar Morales, Aaron Rivera, Jamal Emmers, Brandon Davis, split decisions. None of these fighters are like Edson Barboza. So yeah, I think that has to matter to an extent, right? I guess Chikadze could come in here and land that liver kick and it's all over and we don't really get to see anything. But if the fight goes outside of like those initial shots, right, Barboza could land some like spinning wheel kick and take him out to the body or something. Maybe he lands a kick, right? So you could see all that. But if you get out of that and you see Barboza, maybe Barboza starts to look for some grappling. Maybe Barboza tries to close the distance and do something with that, right? Maybe he tries to go for a Darce choke if they're on the ground in a grappling exchange. We don't know what Barboza is going to do, but I do think it's going to be very competitive on the feet, because Barboza is classic, man, with these leg kicks. It's just something you can't ignore, which, Chikadze, anyone can really take so much, right? You can't just, even if you're invincible, like, you can't be eating those leg shots all day. Because look at that Shane Burgos, right? Shane Burgos was eating those shots. He was taking them pretty well. He was obviously doing some damage, and then eventually Barboza hits him with a jab. just a clean shots, and sends him into another dimension. Like the leg KOs him basically. So that was very impressive to watch, and it's really impressive to watch how Barboza, even though he was getting pressured, right, he stayed in there, picked his shots, threw some really nasty things. And that's another thing about Edson Barboza, which I guess you could kind of say about Giga Chikadze, but I feel like we've seen it more obviously from Barboza because we have more of we just have more evidence, I guess you could say, of Barboza, right? We have more things to look at. And for him, it's like that crazy power that he can just like instantly generate with his kicks. And, he just throws a spinning wheel kick out of nowhere. Like he's just in Muay Thai stance, and then just a second later, he's throwing a spinning back kick, lands it straight to the body or something, and just, takes these guys out. So, or even if he doesn't take them out, he still lands it. So he's very clean, very quick, man. It's really hard to adjust. But just like Giga Chikadze, he can definitely land that Giga kick at will, possibly, and it comes very fast. He sets it up really good. So it's gonna be a really interesting fight. But I really just don't see Chikadze being the one like grappling with Barboza. I think he's probably gonna want to keep it standing. And it's a 5-round fight, so maybe if it gets to the latter rounds, I really don't think it gets to the latter rounds, just because, I guess it could if they respect each other. That's always something, right? When you have a 5-round fight, you think it's going to end quickly, but then each fighter kind of respects each other, so there's like this big feeling out part, and then by the time they get going, it's already like the 4th, 5th round. So, but I do think Barboza is going to come out here, man. I think he's going to do what I think he's going to do what he usually does, and that's land a lot of these leg kicks, or at least try to go to the body. And I think he might try to grapple with Chikadze, and maybe Giga is able to go in there and finish him early, or maybe, we don't know the improvements being made fight to fight, obviously, so that could be a big thing. But I do think Giga is the one here that needs to prove something. Obviously Edson Barboza, he's been around the game for a while, so and he's always dangerous, right? No matter what we're seeing, he's always dangerous fighter. He can come out of nowhere. But I do like Edson Barboza in this fight, not just because he's the veteran or whatever, but I do think he might have a little bit more ways of winning. And obviously, when was the last time he won by a submission? Like way back in November of 2009, it looks like. So obviously he's not winning by submission, right? But then at the same time, he's very capable of winning by submission. So you don't know, right? You don't want to count him out. And maybe even a little bit of grappling, just putting him up against the fence. We don't know, right? He's a veteran. He's going to try to work him for 5 rounds probably. I wouldn't expect him to get too crazy. And I think there will be initial respect. But I would just be very surprised to see someone like Edson Barboza take a liver kick and just go down and crumble. It could happen, but Chikadze, he really has to do something, right? He has to go out there. He has to impose his will. I think it's going to be a lot of blitzing. If he does win, I think it's like a blitz, right? He's going to come in real quick. He's going to land something, set it up, boom, 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 take him out. I don't think this is going to go 5 rounds. He's going to be like, this distance fighter who's picking it. Like, I really don't think that. I think if Giga wins, he's going to do it quickly. But I think if Edson Barboza wins, I think he can do it quickly. But I also think it come like middle of the fight, so like round 3. So I'm going to go Edson Barboza on this one. I think it's going to be violence, man. I really do think it's going to be violence. I think it's going to, whoever wins, I think it's going to win violently. I really don't see it going to a decision. I just think these guys are way too dangerous for it to go to decision. And Barboza, with that leg kick, right, and even with Chikadze's kicks, like, they're both going to go for those nasty shots, man, and that's just going to weigh on you over time. So I like Edson Barboza. I just think those leg kicks are going to be a problem. I think his arsenal, whether he goes to the body, can be a problem. I think maybe he tries to grapple with him, can be a problem. But I just think, like, Edson Barboza, man, he's able to throw these nasty shots, and the speed, man. The speed is nasty, too. So it'll be interesting to see what Giga does. But I like Edson Barboza on this one, and I think a decision, nah, I don't really feel like it's going to go to a decision. So I'm going to go with Edson Barboza on this one. I think he can definitely finish this fight. I think it's probably going to be kick-related for either guy. But I'll go Edson Barboza. Man, I think he's going to chop away and just, I feel like it could be something to the body, honestly. Like that, or just like a nasty punch or something like that. But I like Edson Barboza. I'll take him to defeat Giga Chikadze. I'll take him to win by 3rd round KO TKO. So that'll do it, guys, for my UFC Vegas 35 main event prediction. And it's going to be one hell of a main event. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope everyone enjoys this fight. This is the kind of mixed martial arts that you really want to see. It's very competitive. It's going to be cool. I mean, maybe in hindsight it won't be competitive, but I do think it will be. It's going to be a good one. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. every time I put out a video, no matter how late it is. Make sure you comment down below. Tell me who you're picking. What are your thoughts on this event? Are you looking forward to it? Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.